Hello everyone! So today's video is about the des and mas verb forms in Estonian. And before we get started, I would like to say that this is a more advanced topic, so if you don't know the basics, I recommend you learn the basics first. But if you do know the basics and would like to level up your Estonian, then I highly recommend watching this video because I think it will make a huge difference. So the first thing we need to talk about is that these des and mas forms are non-finite. So what does it mean when a verb form is finite versus non-finite? So finite verb forms show the subject, tense and number. So for example, if you have rääkisime, then you can see from the me that it's first person plural and from the I that it's past tense. The same applies to English. So they ate some ramen. You can understand that the ate there is second person plural and that is in past tense. However, with non-finite verb forms, we do not get this information from the verb form, so it doesn't show subject, tense or number, which is good because it means that the form stays the same. But it also means that it cannot form a sentence on its own. You can't use a non-finite verb form and only use a non-finite verb form and then form a sentence. You need a finite verb form as well. So in English, the non-finite verb forms are present participle, so the ing form, past participle with the ed, and then in Estonian we have the ma infinitive, da infinitive, etc. So looking at the example sentences, they were eating some ramen. I put the were eating in the brackets because that's the verb phrase. The were is past tense and it's about they were. So it's finite, but the eating is non-finite because eating is the present participle. You can't just say they eating some ramen, you need to have the finite verb form, the finite verb were there as well. And then we left early, so finite. Eating too much is bad for you, so here the eating acts as a noun. And then the verb phrase is just is, which is finite. And they had been preparing for the party before something happened. So had is the finite verb form and been preparing are the non-finite verb forms. So my point is that you always need a finite verb form in a sentence if you want to have a non-finite verb form that acts kind of as a verb. Let's start with the des form. So the des form usually gives information about when another action took place, and these are time-wise, these are very close activities. For example, trenni tehes kuulan muusikat. So I work out while listening to music. So basically it means the same thing as kui teen trenni, kuulan muusikat. So if I work out, I listen to music, or when I work out, I listen to music. Kui means both if and when. To make this shorter or more compact, you can say trenni tehes kuulan muusikat. Another example, jäin eksamiks õppides magama. I fell asleep while studying for an exam. So jäin magama is the main part of the sentence, I fell asleep. But eksamiks õppides gives more information about when it happened. Then the des form can be used when the other action happens immediately before, or at the same time, or immediately after. So as I arrived home, I remembered what else I wanted to buy. Koju jõudes mulle meenus, mida ma veel osta tahtsin. So I arrived home and then bam, I remembered, oh yeah, I wanted to buy, I don't know, cheese. Then haigutes läksin magama, I went to bed yawning. So as I was yawning, I went to bed. So it happened at the same time. And then we have läksin staadionile joostes 3 kilomeetrit. So I went to the stadium and ran 3 kilometers. So you literally immediately after you arrived at the stadium, you ran 3 kilometers. So it happened immediately after. And what's important is that the des form refers to the same subject as the main verb. So if it's, for example, haigutades läksin magama, then the haigutades refers to me, I was yawning, not someone else was yawning and then I went to bed. So it refers to the same subject. So if you look at how to form this des form, you take the da infinitive ending and then you replace it with des or s. So if you have laulda, then you replace the da with des, laulda, lauldes, korrata, korrates, teha, tehes, and another example, juua, juues. The majority of the forms are going to follow this laulda, lauldes pattern, but I also found that korrata, korrates applies to about like 500 words, and then teha, tehes, about like this pattern applies to like 150 words, and then there are 2 more patterns, but these are quite rare, and you probably won't come across them. If you do, then you will know, and you can check on Sõnaweb. So these are the more common verbs you may want to use. Okay, so let's look at an example. As I saw the food, I got hungry. Let's translate to Estonian. So here you need to first understand which part is the main like message of the sentence, or like which clause is the main clause and which clause is the clause that gives you more information. And here the main clause is I got hungry. So the des form is going to be using the saw, see, to see, and then past tense saw. So let's translate it. It's nägema, the main form. Then näha is the da infinitive, and then you replace the a with s, nähes. Sööki nähes mul läks õhtu heaks. Please pay attention to the fact that sööki nähes, the nähes, in English it's I saw, like past tense, but nähes doesn't have any tense. Nähes is just nähes. You can understand that it happened in the past because of the läks, which is past tense. Okay. And now if you wish to practice, here are some verbs from my previous video that you can first form the des from the da infinitive form. So this is really easy. This is what we just did. And then the second exercise is that you also need to form the da infinitive first, and then you need to form the des form. So if you don't know these words, I recommend you go check out my Quizlet and like learn the words and listen to the video, and then you can kind of like acquire these or like learn these words and use them later as well. So moving on to the must form. So it means like doing something, and if you use it, then you're kind of like emphasizing that specific action. So olin nägu pesemas, it means like I was away washing my face. So instead of saying ma pesin nägu, like I washed my face, you say olin nägu pesemas to kind of emphasize that you were washing your face, that it took a long time. But it also emphasizes the location. Like I added the away in parentheses. So let's say someone texts me like 5 times and I don't reply, and then when I finally do reply, I say, oh, olin nägu pesemas, like I was washing my face, I was away from my phone, and washing my face took a long time. So that's when I would use it. And another example, nägin sõpra suitsetamas. So I saw my friend smoking, that friend was smoking, and I saw that they were smoking. So so you're emphasizing the specific action that took place. You could also say nägin sõpra suitsetades. I saw a friend as I was smoking, because as I said, the des form implies the same subject as the main verb. So nägin, so I saw, so I was also smoking. I saw a friend as I was smoking. So if you ask what's the difference between using the must form and using present simple or like past simple, and ta lennukile minemas, like he is like boarding the plane, and ta läheb lennukile, so he is boarding the plane. The lennukile minemas kind of emphasizes that the action is taking place and it's taking some time, and that he is away, or the person is away doing something, while ta läheb lennukile is just the fact, like, oh, he's boarding the plane. Like there's no emphasis on time, there's no emphasis on location, it's just a fact. And how do we form this form is that we add s to the ma infinitive, so laulma, laulmas, kordama, kordamas, tegema, tegemas. You actually won't be able to find any kind of like separate information on the must form, because it is viewed as like a subform of the ma infinitive. And let's look at an example. So I was out eating cake with my new friend. So let's translate it. So here we need to find the verb that kind of like emphasizes this like being away doing something for some time, meaning, and it is eating cake, right? Because I was out is the main like part of the, like I was outside, I was out, I was away, main part of the sentence, but this like eating cake kind of adds another meaning to this sentence, like what else happened. So yes, you first need to translate it, sööma, and then you add the s at the end, söömas. The new sentence is ma olin uute sõpradega väljas kooki söömas. I changed the word order here to be more natural. So ma olin, I was, uute sõpradega, with my new friends, väljas, out, kooki söömas, eating cake. And now if you wish to practice, then try completing these 4 sentences with the verb in parentheses and use the word, like put the verb in the right form as well, so either des or mas. Yeah, that's it for now. I hope it was understandable. I hope you found it useful. If you have any other requests, please do let me know. But I would like to actually make some more like vocabulary videos, because I feel like I have a lot of grammar videos but not enough vocabulary videos. But it might take some time. Bye!